You're listening to the Smash Bros. Cast, episode 73. I'm your host, N64 Josh. My co-host and sparring partner is Nightcrawler. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. It's going good. We got some special guests tonight from beyond the metagame. That's right. They have graced us with their presence once again. Peon, what is happening, my friend?
Josh, how's it going, man? Great to see you again. Crawler, you too, man. You're looking good today, as always. Thanks for having us.
And Avi, of course. What's up, brother?
Hey, I'm good. I'm doing really well. How are you guys doing today?
Doing good, doing good. So, before we get started, guys, if you would like to get yourself a free book from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/SBC. Pick up something awesome like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels. The chair I'm sitting in is from OP Seat. Go to n64josh.com/OP Seat. Automatically save $10 at checkout. The chairs are also $20 off right now with free shipping. So take advantage of this deal. It is good stuff. And lastly, if you'd like to help support the content that I create, you can go to patreon.com/N64Josh. Check out all the different tiers. With that, we're going to jump to the announcements. All right, guys, we have our tournament coming up the second Saturday in April. It's finally all set up correctly. It took me a few different tries, and then I saw a tweet go out from Smash.gg that said, "Hey, we need some people to help us make our site run smooth." And I was like, "Boom, there you go." So, yeah. I have to say real quick, because Alka-Seltzer-Tini, friend of the show, just jumped into chat and gifted like 5 different subs and resubbed. So thank you, Alka-Seltzer. Thank you. She's a very old and good friend of mine. So thank you. She's not old. She's an old friend. There we go. I want to make sure I clarify that. So, but yeah, the tournament's coming up second Saturday. It will be streamed. There's going to be prizes, $35 in eShop cards. First prize gets 20, second place gets 10, and third place gets 5. All right. So you can sign up at n64josh.com/Smash Tournament, or just look in your show notes and you'll see the link there. All right, with that, we're going to move right on over into tournament news. Okay, so Nintendo put on an event at PAX, and I'll be honest, I watched the end of it, and there were items on and some Smash Balls. And
it also wasn't what I was expecting. It was Squad Strike.
Yeah, it was,
wasn't it?
It was Squad Strike.
Was it the whole way through?
The last like I tuned in a little bit late and saw a familiar face in the Nintendo community, John Numbers, who has won the Nintendo World Championship, things like that. Which I was surprised. I was just kind of like, I don't think there was any Smash pros even interested in playing it. It didn't seem like.
No, I don't think so.
So, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're pros that I'm unaware of. You know, that kind of thing. I'm not really sure, but overall, it was just kind of lackluster. And the funniest thing is the chat only cared about hearing about a Joker announcement, and then like the best part is it ended, and then you'd see people go, "Joker's gonna be amazing, refresh," right? And they were just totally trolling because there was nothing happening. So
was that on Nintendo's channel, or was that on PAX's channel on Twitch?
I was watching on Nintendo's channel.
Okay.
Yeah, I was watching on Nintendo's channel. So
it's a cool step in the right direction, you know. Like, I'm glad Nintendo's getting in that arena. I'm glad they're putting on events, you know. I don't think it is catered at us, at the enthusiasts, but I don't know, man. I'm still happy to see them step into the ring, for sure.
I'm very happy to see it. What's strange, and I think Crawler was going to say the same thing, is Splatoon is like high level gameplay, like you'd expect from a tournament, and then Smash is like kind of casual, and you're like,
yeah, Oh, and they do nuance updates to Splatoon as well, and they give specific numbers and data, which they're getting better about with Smash. But also with this Smash tournament, it took it was 3 weeks. It was a total of 6 weeks building up to this PAX thing, and it was a week of qualifying, which you had to set up with yourself on Battlefly or whatever, and they got to top 4, I think, in each region. And then the following weekend, they took all those 4 regions and they played single elimination, those top 4 going all the way till they had one winner for that region. And then they took all these regional qualifiers, and so Southeast and Southwest and all that they combined them together, and they had teams of 3 that they played Squad Strike, and they were competing to then go against. I guess this weekend they were also doing something in Europe, and they were doing something in I'm assuming in the Pacific region, like the Far East. I mean, doing stuff in Asia and Japan and all that kind of stuff. And they're gonna have, I guess it's in June, I think, Nintendo Smash World Championships or something.
E3.
But it's but I mean, possibly. But I wasn't paying that much attention. But in the whole build up to this whole thing, I don't remember seeing anything about this team battle for the whole world thing.
That caught me off guard too, and it's just strange that you have this entire framework. Everything about this tournament, from an onlooker's perspective, is competitive. There's teams and there's a bracket stage, and it's internationally centered. And then you actually watch the gameplay, and it's it resembles what happens like Thanksgiving at the Peon household. The gameplay itself is the farthest thing from competitive.
Right.
I don't know who this is for.
Yeah, that's troubling, right? Go ahead, Avi.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a lot of signaling that Nintendo is trying to get into esports, but I mean, if it is, it's a really poor excuse for what they actually could have done. And it's strange because they know what takes place in Smash esports. They have backed a lot of these big Smash Bros tournaments, and it's not like they're ignorant of what goes on. They talk to a lot of the Japanese players in the development of this game. They understand what the competitive landscape of the game looks like, and the fact that they still do something like this means that it was probably very intentional, and I don't know why.
Well, and they know how to put on an esports global tournament when it comes to Splatoon, because look at what happened at E3. That was a regional qualifier that they brought the best of Japan against the best of the United States. Granted, there is more. Oh no, I think Europe was involved. I think there were 8 teams that were involved at E3 for Splatoon. So they know how to bring stuff together and have qualifiers, albeit not all in the same spot, but they know how to at least bring them together for the final hurrah a little bit.
It's the most simple marketing plan ever. Get your pro players involved and you'll get eyes on the game, right? I mean, look what they did. When they had this game at E3, who did you see? Zero. MK Leo, right? You were seeing Nairo. You were seeing the pros. And then they put this on. Now, the pros could have played, but I mean, everything leading up to this was kind of I don't think anybody was taking it seriously on the
qualifiers were timed. We've talked about this for the last couple of weeks. It was kind of a joke.
I mean, to play devil's advocate.
Time match.
Oh, pardon me, Crawler.
No, it's you're good.
To play devil's advocate, I suppose maybe Nintendo already understands that the Smash Bros. Community as it is sort of a self-sustaining thing. We're already kind of doing our thing, and if you're into competitive Smash, you probably already know about it. But there's this entire casual, potentially, an entire casual audience that when they watch competitive Smash, it doesn't resemble, the game that they play. What is this? This looks way too. Where are the items? Why are they only doing one-on-one? This looks boring. And perhaps those same people, when they see Nintendo's version of a tournament, they're like, "Oh yeah, that's looking pretty cool. Look, Bowser just got a Smash Ball. that is sweet. My little brother plays Bowser. Like maybe there's something to that. But again, I don't know, man. I'm just trying to get into their heads.
So Smash might be self-sustaining, but it's not self-prospering. Look at Capcom or Bandai Namco and the money that they put behind their game with Dragon Ball Fighters or Street Fighter, and the money that is involved at Evo or their own. I think, doesn't Capcom do their own kind of big tournament?
Yeah, the Capcom Cup.
Yeah, they put money behind it, and that's what's severely lacking with Smash. I mean, short of like the 6 super majors throughout the year, there isn't a ton of money in the purses for Smash players.
What Nintendo has done in the past, you guys can see these posters behind me here. This is the Nintendo World Championship, right? That's what this tournament felt like it should have been for Smash. Like Smash should have been a part of this. The thing that, like, to kind of to push back Peon a little bit, their viewership on Twitch was over 100,000 less than what we saw at Genesis. Right? Like they didn't even break 20,000 viewers. And it's like, well, if you bring the pros in and then you're actually making like now Smash is showing up at the very top of the directory in Twitch when people go to hit that browse button. At 20,000, I mean, yeah, maybe it's in the top 10. But when it's number 1, people are curious, what am I seeing? Oh, I didn't realize how this was such a competitive game. Now I want to get into it, right? It could work as a way to sell games, and I feel like it's one of those times again with Nintendo where there's people making decisions about the marketing and stuff that may just not know best. They think
Josh,
they do, but
I completely agree with you. I do completely agree with you. And I think even to bolster your point further, if you're going to be watching something on Twitch, if you're going to be watching a live streamed video game tournament, you're probably part of the hardcore niche to begin with. So again, who are they trying to broadcast this to?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
And they do have their finger on the pulse too, because they had TK Breezy, EE, Vicky, and Coney all there commentating.
Yeah, that's again, and they do a great job of kind of we don't really know what's going on here, but
yeah, especially because they're not all familiar with the stages that are, because it's Nintendo's random stage list, and then I don't know what, there's 72 characters in the roster. I don't know what half of their final smashes are. So if they get a final smash ball, good luck knowing if it's a ranged, if it's a like projectile based, if it's a hit scan where you have to dash forward and hit them, or I mean, there's all sorts of different options that come out of those that you might not be super familiar with.
Yeah, that was probably each one of those commentators' hardest performance of their career. They're like, hey, Vicky Kitty, what item is that? What's that called? I don't know.
Real quick, let's touch. We saw, what was the other tournament that was going on? Battle for
British Columbia.
And ESAM took first. If I didn't see any of this one, did AV Peon? Did you guys see anything?
I did. I caught the top 4, the last half of the top 8, and I have to say, ESAM finally took home a major. Props to him. But it was a really great grand finals. Ally actually went old school with the Mario. Josh, you would have been proud.
Nice.
And in Smash 4, Ally was kind of ESAM's demon. And so whenever those two play, it's always kind of interesting for me. And Ally had some very clutch plays, but ESAM was able to clutch it out in the end. And it was a great set, man. It's definitely one to go back and watch for you Mario players.
Didn't MVD put on a good performance as well? Wasn't he there? Was he there?
I don't believe MVD was there.
Okay.
I don't believe MVD. Captain Zach got third. He was in the big name. Max
with Bayo?
Sorry, say it again?
With Bayo?
No, Captain Zach was actually going the Toadstool Princesses and Palutena, actually.
Okay. Got it. Makes sense. Poor Bayo.
Bayo can
in
still
peace.
kill off the top a little bit, but she's got to work really, really, really hard for it.
I love your optimism.
It's only Twitter. It's only Twitter clip that you see. Like, and it's the best of. It's not. It's yeah.
Yeah, Carl, I'm looking at the top 25 right now. Not a single Bayo in sight.
Oh no, she's not competitive.
She can dream.
I mean, who knows? Maybe 3.0 will buff her a little. Who would have thought we would be talking about Bayo buffs?
Right. Who knows with 3.0, man? Who knows? We're gonna do a 3.0 show. We're gonna do a prediction show. All right, we'll get you guys in on that one. We're gonna talk about like what is it gonna bring? Who's gonna get nerfed? Well, is Pichu gonna get nerfed to the ground? You know,
we might have to be on standby for that then if they do a quick announcement that we're gonna get a direct or something.
Yeah, you can send us like an emergency pager, like Dr. AV, we need your predictions. Stat. I'm curious though, man. And to follow up on that, I hope they don't do anything drastic, right? And the evil part of me, and there is an evil part of me, hopes that Bayo remains terrible. But if I'm being selfless, I must admit Bayo needs some help. Nintendo, send her some love.
Yes. I hope AV's still with us. I don't know. He's
frozen.
He is deep in thought right now. Like
AV heard the word Bayonetta and ran away.
Like he hasn't blinked in a while. You guys
He
are
does that
watching
from
the
time to
video.
time. You just gotta shake him.
He is frozen solid. So hopefully he can find his way back to us with relative ease here. So all right. Well, we're gonna move on over to the Smash news. Okay. All right. So, Smash news.
He's back.
There he is. AV's back. Best Buy may or may not have leaked the Joker amiibo render. Now, when they were called out on it, they were like, gave the best. I can't even. I don't know. I remember exactly, but it was something along the lines of "we're cultured" when they were called out. That's all they said on Twitter. We're cultured, you know. So pretty funny stuff. It really does look. It does look like it probably is.
Yeah, it looks like it's the top 7/8 of the amiibo, pretty much.
Yeah, and
that was what? Was that Sunday morning? I saw that.
I believe it was.
Is it in their weekly ad?
I think I wrote the article at like 2:30 in the morning on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So yeah, it was late. The thing that gets me the first thing that gets me thinking is like, is this next direct happening sooner than later? You know, I'm of the mind that we're gonna see a direct with a lot of Mario Maker and a lot of updates for some other games like Daemon X Machina, and then the 3.0 Smash update, because they made it sound like, again, that reveal was so weird, like, and 3.0 coming soon.
Yeah, details coming soon.
Details later. We're like, what?
So also with the Joker thing, I don't know. I know I saw it on Twitter. I don't remember where I saw it, if it was reputable or not, I also haven't checked it, but I'm sure I could if I pulled up Nintendo's website. I guess Joker coming in April was taken off the website. I don't know if it's because we're in April now, or if maybe something is we haven't seen anything.
Yeah, I think it was like replaced with like just Joker approaching. Like something went from like Joker approaching in April to Joker approaching. So I'm pretty sure it's because we're in April.
But I mean, we saw the plant back pre-launch, right? Didn't we see gameplay?
Yeah. Well, yes, like
that
very...
was the last direct, right?
The
right
Smash
before
Direct.
launch.
Yeah, it was the Smash Direct. So
I mean, I would hope they'd have renders and stuff for us by now. And we've seen the render, but like gameplay, stage, something.
I wonder how this Best Buy thing even gets through, because I know the most recent Nintendo Direct was delayed a couple weeks, and maybe this Joker render being placed on the Best Buy ad was put in production months ago, and perhaps like Nintendo's entire content drop schedule has been pushed back a couple weeks, in accordance with the original delay of the January Direct. I don't know. I'm speculating here, but it is weird. And the fact that Best Buy doubled down on it is both hilarious and a bit interesting. I mean, they had no shame about it.
Well, and they also have to have such a close relationship with Nintendo because they get to use their artwork for those steelbooks that they make that are exclusive to them. Like those aren't coming from, I don't think those are coming from Nintendo. I think that's Best Buy in-house making those steelbooks that they're then like, because they've done two. They've done the Pokemon one and they've done Mario Kart, and the other two have come directly from Nintendo with Xenoblade and Fire Emblem coming out here soon. But like those steelbooks, I'm pretty sure they made, so they have to be having a good relationship with the marketing department or whatever, that their reps with Nintendo have to be probably in on it.
Are you talking about the Smash Steelbook?
Well, no. So Smash Steelbook as well, I guess. Yeah. So Smash, Xenoblade, and Fire Emblem are coming from Nintendo, but Best Buy did the Mario Kart one, and the Pokemon one.
Yeah.
So does Joker say the sentence at any point, "We're simply cultured"? Like if one of Joker's taunts is him saying "We're simply cultured," this would be one of the most crazy bombshells that like a tech corporation has dropped for me in the last decade.
It's like Wendy's level of tweeting right there, So, yeah. So, who knows? Who knows? Hopefully soon. We like. I feel like the levels of salt and toxicity have like kind of started spilling over, and I think the lack of news is part of that problem. I think we get some news. It's going to get everybody kind of hyped again and get some people back in. And this is another. We're gonna get into this again in our next talking point here. All right, so Peon, I believe it was you that messaged me in Discord and said, "Hey, after you guys' last week's show, let's talk a little bit more about this." So, what are your thoughts on this?
So I was specifically responding, and it was me. I was specifically responding to the fact that in your last show, you spoke about your famous guest Vicky Kitty's recent step back, withdrawal almost from the commentary space, saying, "Look, I need a break. All the toxicity from this community is getting to me," and I really appreciated your coverage of it, and it got me thinking. This is not an isolated incident. This is not just Vicky Kitty. I've seen the sentiment expressed by people all over the Smash community. And it's kind of become this echo chamber of negativity where people are saying, everybody's pointing out the toxicity, and it seems like the general consensus is almost, pessimistic. People are pretty down about it. I know that you said specifically, Josh, last week that this wave of negativity that's been cycling throughout the Smash community has actually taken some of the wind out of your sails. I believe that was the exact.
It absolutely has. Yeah. No question there.
And I'm here with my buddy AV, and with my two friends Crawler and Josh, and I'm declaring that the Smash community is better for the world than it is worse. The Smash is
I do declare.
Vote for Peon 2020. No, but the thing is Smash is such a positive experience, both on a personal and a community level. I've seen so many people change for the better because they've played Smash. Josh, Crawler, I wouldn't know you guys if it weren't through Smash. You know, all these relationships that I've made and I've seen other people make similar relationships because of this silly game where Mario gets to body slam Princess Daisy, right?
Or Palutena, depending on who he's playing against.
Or Palutena, or Solid Snake. And it's this beautiful, bizarre, I'll admit, circumstance that everybody listening to this and myself are all in. And I want to inject some positivity back into the scene. You know what I mean? I want to talk about why it matters that we're all here and why we should keep on enjoying this crazy thing. AV, am I making any sense?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's easy to get caught in with like a lot of the sources of negativity when often we aren't really interacting with them on a direct basis, like stuff like Twitch chat. Like, what does Twitch chat say about your local? Like, what is that? It's so removed from the actual experience of playing the game. It's more of like experiencing like this abstract concept of the community. And I think that if we focus on the things that we really enjoy about the game and the things that bring us happiness, like Peon said, I think that some of this stuff about the toxic community is a little overblown.
Well, yeah, Twitch chat is faceless. Twitter is pretty much faceless.
maybe an anime face.
But like, I mean, a lot of people in Discord have talked up about like their local experiences. Some people have reported back of some negative interactions. Leo, his first interaction at a smaller local that he went to was a dude talking crap to his face, kind of saying he sucked and all that kind of stuff. But his next time, I don't know if it was a different local that he went to or if it was the same one, completely different experience. And I think that and that goes for countless people that have talked up in the Discord. And I think a lot of communities, even going back to listening to what was Coney's podcast called? High Percent. Like, they called out the Smash community as well, saying welcome the new people as well when the influx of players come in for Ultimate, so that a lot of the local scenes would be accepting. And they said call out the people that are ragging on people for not being good or anything like that. And I think a lot of people have come back and said if they went back to their local, which I think a majority of them did, that we've seen in our Discord, that they've had a positive experience, or that somebody else has reached out to them, or that they've been able to find friendlies with other people that are looking for the same kind of experience. So I think, like what you were saying, Peon, the positive definitely outweighs the negative, and the negative sits behind a keyboard, and we have keyboard warriors that make it bad. But the face-to-face interactions where this community lives more so is positive, but unfortunately the echo chamber that is the internet amplifies it a little bit.
Right. And today I don't want to just talk about, there's people are negative, don't listen to them, it's all sunshine and rainbows, let's just be positive, right? That's not my message. And I do want to clarify that I am not trying to at all minimize the stuff that Vicky's gone through, the harassment that she's received, via Twitch chat and everything. Totally feel for her. And there are things about the community that, are very negative, right? And can definitely cause people, especially on the tippy top, of the top in the Smash world, a lot of turmoil. And I ask, how do we come to this place? Why are people feeling this negativity as of late? And I think there's a couple main reasons. One being, we are all coming off of an amazing, blissfully ignorant high. We just got the best game ever made. It was put in our hands by Sakurai, and the first few months of the game were so exciting, right? And then now that we're kind of coming down a little bit, there isn't as much energy out there. I think it's kind of allowing a lot of the air to kind of kick up. You know, there isn't as much enthusiasm for the game, and because some of the enthusiasm is draining away, I think negativity has kind of filled its place. Per se, do you have any thoughts on why this might be like a new wave of negativity, AV, like the origin of it all?
I think that you kind of hit the nail on the head in terms of like, once there's like this huge empty space, and sometimes people feel like they have the need to stir up things that don't really need to be disturbed. To diagnose the Smash community's overall psychological issues would be an entire case study and thesis in itself. But
we got time.
It's pretty akin to most gaming communities. I mean, there's always like when the release cycle is not churning as it usually does, you'll see in communities there's a lot of like random there's a lot of like random posting, there's like really irrelevant content, and there's like it feels like everyone's lost. And I think you described it better than I did, but I agree that we're kind of in this period where we don't know, where we can't just say like the game is new anymore. Like you can't go on commentary in the game and say, "Hey, I love Pokemon Stadium's music." Like 30,000 people have said that before you. On it's like it's you can't get away with the same with the same thing. When you can't say like, "Oh, I just learned attack canceling," or like, hey, once people start to learn parrying, and it's like, wait, no, people have already learned parrying. Like
the cynicism's creeping in.
Yeah, I think so, because people are. This is no longer this is my time to shine. Ultimate's my time to shine. It's like it's people are starting to realize, wait, maybe I suck at this game.
Well, that's exactly right. And what we're seeing, like I've had a number of conversations with, even today in my Twitch chat, I had a number of people say, "Yeah, Smash didn't pull me in," right? And I don't know that and we tried to tell people on here, like, if you want Smash to pull you in, you have to invest the time. You have to invest the time. If I can look at myself, I think all of us can probably look at the characters that we started with when Ultimate came out and to where we are now, and we play differently. We play the game differently. We've improved, but there has been, what other games have I invested this much time in? None. I'm guessing Smash is my most played game on my Switch in a short amount of time.
Yeah, it for both you and me, I think all four of us probably it is. But you had 3 years of a podcast. Was it 3 years with Destiny podcasting?
Yeah.
So run parallels for this, because I know there was toxicity within the Destiny community. There was lots of positivity, but can you find any parallels that you've with the experience that you had with Destiny?
Yeah, and I was actually gonna go there. The thing, there's a couple things. So the first thing is, with a game like Destiny, you have a community that is kind of split into PvE and PvP, right? And then you have those that kind of, I mean, I played raids and I did PvP. Like I liked all of it, right? And then people were like that. All that we know is coming with Smash is a stage, which really doesn't mean anything. It might mean we have another stage in competitive, maybe. But the chances are fairly unlikely. And a character, which is cool, and it may bring some new people in, right? That are Persona fans, that kind of stuff. Destiny was like, okay, if you were casual, there was still something coming in. Now 3.0 could really do some damage in a good way if we get like target attack, and
that would be good.
The sandbag and the kind of things that allow casual players something else to do. But I know firsthand, especially from in my community, that people have played all the way through Spirit Mode and moved on to other games. Right? There's just not a lot for them to do. And I think that's one of the big differences with what the Destiny community did for, the 3-4 years that game was, in and out of everyone loves it, everyone hates it, everyone loves it, everyone hates it. The difference I feel like with Smash is that I don't know that there's anything coming out that's really going to bring people back that have already left, And the reason I say that is, and I mean, look, I love the state of Ultimate where it is. I love it better than Smash 4. I love the fast gameplay. I love watching high level play. I love losing to high level play because it helps me improve, right? But not everybody loves losing, right? They're like, I don't care about learning. I just want to win, and they're gonna walk away. This game has it definitely has a higher skill gap, right? And if you invest the time, you're going to be able to get there. What I feel like we're seeing that took much longer, and I've even had people tell me this, hey, I played Smash 4 much longer than I played Ultimate. Because I feel there's not the draw that was there. So what are the factors? Is it that it's a lot like 4 in many ways, as far as like graphically and stages and things like that? Is that a factor? Maybe people already had the fatigue from the last game. I don't. We don't. I don't think any of us do. We look at this and go, this is a new experience. This is the experience we wanted. But I don't know that there's going to be there's not the carrot on the stick for all four of us sitting here, and for probably the majority of the people listening to this. There's a chance that Joker could be our main, right? He could be really cool. There's a chance he could break the game. There's a chance that he could be garbage. We don't know. But for anybody else that's just like, hey, I played Spirit Mode, now what? I don't know that there's a lot for them to do.
Well, I think that's one of the biggest weaknesses of Smash as a property, but simultaneously one of its biggest strengths, right? A game like Destiny, a game like World of Warcraft, or most AAA games these days with consistent content rollouts, those are amusement park rides. You go from one roller coaster to the next, to the next, to the next, until you get sick and you want to leave the park forever. Smash Bros. Is a sandbox. With a really cool sandbox, really big, very cozy, some high quality sand, but you make your own fun with it. Mm-hmm. There's no roller coaster that can replace the concept of creating your own fun. And that's why I think Smash is so beautiful. It's evergreen if so you want it to be. And I think that we are definitely getting to that point, especially where the casual people are coming from, where they're running out of ideas in the sandbox. But I don't know. I think that's also the beauty of it. I think that's why people come back in the same way.
Well, and what you said there, like, we know that the amiibo community is a thing. We talked about that last week, how I played an amiibo and trained an amiibo and that kind of stuff. And there is a small community of people that, do tournaments and have fun just watching their amiibo fight. I think that's amazing. I think that's super cool that kind of thing happens. The thing, I guess, the overall point I was making is that I feel like this is just my perspective, okay, is that there's already kind of the saltiness and the hype seems to has kind of gone. That was there at the end of 4, where it was just kind of a lot of salty dogs. You know what I mean? And it just happened in 4 months instead of 4 years. And I don't know how long
I don't think
Smash 4 lasted. You know what I'm saying? But it seemed,
because Captain Zach was getting death threats. I mean,
yeah.
Well, I will say this. But before I try to dispel the negativity of the Smash scene, I do want to address one thing. In every scene, good or bad, you'll have a lot of positivity and usually, hopefully, a little amount of very loud negativity, right? Even I remember, my mom made me volunteer at Vacation Bible School when I was 15, right? You think it's this place, there's little kids, there's teachers helping them out with their activities and their arts and crafts, and there'd be a lady yelling at the kids in a mean-spirited way. It's like, lady, you're supposed to be nice. We're at vacation Bible school. How come you're mean? Right? And that's how I look at Smash. I mean, in a much more serious way, there's some real jerks. There's real issues, especially when anonymity. How do you say that word, AB? Anonymity.
That's correct. Yeah.
Thank you. In Twitch chat or anime profile pics on Twitter, online interactions can be very hostile, and I won't lie about that. But above that, there's an abundance of real person-to-person connections. People, that's what I love about Smash. You sit in the same room at a tournament, and you might be playing against like some 15-year-old girl who knows how to skateboard, and you're this like 20-year-old dude, and you should never have anything in common, but you do, and it's real, and it's innocent, and it's fun. And that is a vast majority of Smash Bros. Interactions is between two even vaguely like-minded people coming together over a common interest. And that's what we need to dwell on and to celebrate and to continue to advertise.
And I think there's a couple of things going on in my mind, right? I mean, look, that same week I tried to get involved on the Smash Bros. Subreddit. I wanted to, I kind of asked this question, and the like just the hate that I got was like, good golly, what is the deal here? Like, I can never seem to get a post to go on any other, like on any subreddit. Typically they always get deleted. And I'm like, okay, I'm really going to just focus on like a conversation topic that was like, man, I called down the fire apparently. Like,
now, what did you ask them? What were you asking?
If they thought the casuals had moved on, that was it. And like, literally the answers I got were like, well, the game's still selling well, so obviously not. And I'm like, okay, so is a Grand Theft Auto, right? So
is Mario Kart. I mean,
yeah, like I just want to know, anyway, it was not a good. Apparently, it was not a good thing to ask, right?
So struck a chord.
So then
with
that
the r/Smash Bros community,
yeah, and there were a few people that were like, "Hey, I love your podcast," and don't listen to all these jokers, but for the most part, it was like, it was just met with hostility that I didn't quite understand, because and maybe it's just me, if I see something on a subreddit that I don't agree with or that annoys me, I'm typically just going to move to the next thing, right? Like, it's not that hard for me just to scroll up. You know what I mean? I don't understand the mentality of people that have to get in there and spew negativity. Like, I wonder about their mental health, to be perfectly honest. Like do they wake up and go, what am I going to be pissed about today? Right? And it's like, I better get on Reddit and tell somebody they're an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. I don't understand it. And so, so that mixed with seeing Vicky stuff, it was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back. Right? And then mix that in with even how like I'm feeling about this show, right? I'm like, if we're not going to reach players that are many players that are beyond our skill level, right? And so trying to find, like, if the casuals are leaving and we're seeing this divide, where does that even put the Smash Bros cast?
I disagree, Josh. I'm much better than you, and I love your show.
We'll see after this show. We'll see.
No, but no. I see why. I see why you would think that, right? And I think it's important to distinguish the online Smash Bros community with the in-person Smash Bros community, right? And granted, most people that are listening to these shows, that listen to our show, listen to your show, that listen to any sort of Smash content or on r/Smash Bros, don't go to tournaments. Time and time again, when polls are made in those kind of communities, 4 to 5 people have never even been to a tournament. And if they have, they probably haven't won a set. And I think it's our job to perpetuate the good of the local communities, to convince those people, hey, come out. You know, the way that you actually will end up interacting with the Smash community is amazingly transformatively positive. And I do think that those very same people that are enjoying their local communities will listen to shows like the Smash Bros. Cast or Beyond the Game, regardless of their skill level, just because they want to keep thinking and hearing about the game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the time I feel like we're distanced from like what people actually do in their free time. I mean, it's really interesting because as someone who ran a competitive community, I assumed I knew every Smash player in Santa Barbara. I just assumed that. I just made this like gross assumption. Like I was like, dude, I totally know everyone that plays Smash because I've totally brought everyone together that plays Smash. And then it was so surreal. I'm like biking home from class, and I see some a bunch of people in their apartment all getting together and just playing Smash Bros. And they're all having a great time, and I know none of them.
Wait, were you just in the bushes? Like, what were you? What was happening?
Did you follow these people?
Window was open, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like, and they were having they're having a great time, and I knew none of them. And the crazy part is that like, I thought to myself, there's probably like 10 or 20 more groups of people like this that I'll never ever talk to, never ever interact with. And I think that that casual players aren't just looking for that single experience, especially of Smash. Like just like Dane said, like this beautiful sandbox thing where you kind of create your own experience and create your own fun is constantly being like innovated on by casual players too. Like a lot of the time, like when I was a casual player, I didn't play any of the single player stuff with my friends other than maybe like boss battles. that was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But we just go into into free for alls and screw around, and that for some reason that never got old. It absolutely never got old, and I don't see it getting old in Ultimate. It never got old in Brawl. Never got old in Smash 4. Never got old in Melee. So I think that the people that you really that you are going to reach, will continue to reach, and have reached, are people that will not get tired of the game. To be completely honest.
And the sandbox idea exists even beyond just the game. The game itself has a lot of different modes. You can play it. You can inject your personality into your main in a very creative way. But also, the community is structured in a way to where you can have all sorts of goals. The whole community is your sandbox. You know, if you want to be an art person that goes to tournaments and sells their art, or a podcaster, or a tournament organizer, or a commentator, there's all these different roles that you can play and interact within the community itself, which are all super gratifying, and I think also promote to the longevity of people. And I think that's kind of the agenda that we need to start pushing, because those are the people that stay and keep A, consuming the content, and B, like, you know, having fun, making the community a better place.
And my biggest concern, like my goal as a content creator, is to add value to the people that listen, right? And the idea of the Smash Bros. Cast was kind of to document our journey, right? And so what I want to make sure is happening is that value is being added, right? That it's not like that we're showing up just and just kind of like talking about our week at this point sounds a lot like the week before, because there's only small nuances of improvements that are happening, right? Because it's like, okay, I need to be patient. I need to watch my opponent. I need to read my opponent, you know, that kind of stuff. And so where I want to make sure that we can evolve the show to still add value to people that are listening to it. And I know some people, it's like, hey, we just want to hear people talk about Smash and that kind of stuff. But I want to make sure it's beyond that. I want people to still have those, if possible, have those like aha moments, like, oh, I can't wait to get home and try what was mentioned, you know, or to work on that. And it's like where I'm finding where it becomes difficult now is like our progress isn't going to necessarily bring those moments, right? And so you couple that where I'm in a way I'm doubting myself that I can bring the value I want to bring, plus seeing this divide start to happen, or what it seems like anyway, between the casual and the ultra competitive. And I'm kind of left asking myself, like, okay, what's the best thing to do here, right? Because I, like Crawler was saying, or asking about the Destiny, eventually the Destiny podcast got to the point that I was like, that even I was kind of salty about where the game was, and where it was like, we're drowning here trying to create content, and it's a wasteland. And eventually the salt was all that was left. And so sometimes salt is good, but at the same time, some people can only take so much of it before.
Yeah, man. I mean, but the thing is like, so Peon and I are pretty far in our competitive lifetimes. I mean, I don't know about how good you can rate us in the grand scheme of things, but we've played for a decent amount of time, and I guarantee you, we can sit down for 1 hour and talk about something in the past week that we can improve on, like introspect about like all of the different things that all the different interactions in the different characters we've played, all of the different mistakes we've made, and how those things have changed us as a player. And we've been doing this for a really, really long time. A lot of the time it's these burnout periods and these plateaus can seem a lot longer than they actually are, because they bring on this like the stagnation of your mentality. And often there's a lot more improvement that's going on behind the scenes than you can see at the forefront of what's directly available when you're controlling the character and you're observing what's going on the screen.
And I think too, just to make sure I'm being clear, I don't want to by any means sound like I've peaked, right? That's not what I'm saying at all. What I am saying is that, like, when I could say I'm working on my back air consistently, or throwing a RAR, that kind of stuff, right? That stuff was like, I was getting hyped because it was like, oh, I'm starting to implement this kind of stuff.
Big jumps.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now it's such small stuff that that what my concern is that every week's going to sound the same, right? And I want to make sure that it's adding as much value as possible to those that are consuming this, so that they want to continue listening week in and week out, And so some of the ideas is we're going to start doing more character focused, like we're going to go through every character. Well, that's 84 more episodes right there, right? And then that kind of stuff. If we include the Mii fighters, we may not. But
hey, don't leave out my boy Mii sword fighter. Dude.
Hey, Mii brawler can party. That's all I'm saying.
So that, I mean, just to make sure that I'm being clear, because like, the level that you guys are at versus the level that we're at, like, I feel like you can make you guys with your experience can add so much more to where, like, it's the kind of thing, like, to be one step ahead of somebody is to be an expert. And my concern is that the majority of the people listening are at the same level or beyond. You know what I mean?
Josh, I don't think that's correct necessarily. I don't think that AV and I, or whatever, have more experience than you. I think that we just have different experiences, we have different perspectives. Like what you and Crawler cover and the revelations that you have on this show are intrinsically valuable. Like, when I hear you talk about how you're learning to do, like, how you're getting your short hops down, or when Crawler has like some great insight on like the way a controller works, or like how the short hop macro has been affecting your guys' gameplay, It is interesting, and it is cool to hear about. I think no matter what level you're on, in terms of the intrinsic value, I think that yeah, like you guys do skew more casual, but most people are casual, like you're saying. I mean, that's the place to be. That's the place to be. And then additionally, I mean, I think that you guys' coverage of the news and all that is in the actual tournament news is top notch. No one else is doing that, and which is intrinsically valuable because people don't have the time. I don't watch every tournament, and I love Smash, but you guys always have a nice little recap. I always am in the know. And then additionally, you guys always could bring on, like the Vicky Kitties, the Mask Ketchums like you have, to fill in some of the deep knowledge gaps that you guys, perhaps that isn't your strong suit. But man, I wish that there was a lot more content like the content you guys make. And for the people listening to this, I hope that you feel inspired by Josh and Crawler to make content that's just fun, that's engageable from all levels. I think it is intrinsically valuable.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's really cool too that you've been able to like bring on people from your community, and it's like it's actually really unique and it's really wholesome. Like I love the fact that there's like people that jump that you see them playing a character in the Discord. You bring them on the show. You say, hey, explain everything about this character to me. Your position and your desire to learn and your ability to have this beautiful open mind is such a refreshing concept in this community where everyone is coming from a point of a closed mind. So this perspective is actually really huge, and it's extremely valuable, especially for helping people like kind of take on that more open-minded mentality too, especially looking up to you as a role model. I think it's super cool.
It's so big. It's so big. I mean, think about all the people that you guys have gotten into the scene already. And those are all going to be like the most positive, happy people at that local. Is probably be the guy that you guys sent. And again, this is an online community, right? The same source of negativity that I cited earlier, right? The online Smash community, this place where if you go on Reddit, you'll get chewed out for having a legitimate question. And you guys have fostered a really friendly, fantastic community even through an online medium, and I challenge everybody to do the same. Like, do not ask what the Smash community can do for you, ask what you can do for the Smash community. And if everybody fostered a community like Josh and Crawler have, we the negativity that we'd be seeing would be much more minuscule.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the biggest positives that have come out of this show is the two busiest chat rooms in the Discord are Smash Bros General and Smash Bros LFG. Mm-hmm. They are always full. It's 100-something messages that I usually can't keep up with. I try to keep up with main chat sometimes, but those two rooms are usually full of in the middle of the day I'm seeing somebody ask if there's rooms going, and somebody's always playing. People are critiquing each other, there's all sorts of stuff happening all throughout the day, and it's great just to see that happening day in and day out.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, like, we do have these kind of overtly negative like feedback systems that we get from the community at large. But something that especially I think Dane and I get a lot of enjoyment out of is kind of seeing our little community too, and observing how positive everything, how all of the interactions are in there too, and that honestly has made it all worth it for me. That's if that was our impact and creating this really wonderful niche ecosystem for people that just want to improve and people who want to be positive about the game. I think honestly there's a bunch of people looking for that, and I think that I feel like I've done my service already.
Yeah, and that's kind of weird. The conversation went this way. I didn't anticipate it, and it's not like I wasn't even necessarily looking for
validation.
Yeah. It was more like I kind of just want to be open about it and just be let people know it is definitely a concern of mine. I don't want to waste anybody's time. I want them to feel like they're getting something from this show, each time they're listening to it, right? Like I said, the biggest thing that's probably the most important thing to me is what I feel like we've been able to do is that, like, you know, to find something that we can then teach that people then that can go and, you know, start to practice themselves. And when you get to that point, like where we're at that point where it's like, okay, you know, like what I have to remember is that we could go all the way back and start over, because we've been doing this for 1 year, by the way. This is the 1 year like anniversary of the show.
Woo.
But that's when we started playing Smash 4, right? And we started, like, it was literally aha moment after aha moment of like, oh wow, look how we can combo now. Look how, like, you know, just the different levels that it's been a climb to where, like, you know, now I feel like I can play with some of the best people in the Discord, and I may take a game periodically where that wasn't the case even a month ago, right? Or especially not in January. But now it's but I'm kind of like, other than just practice, I don't know what else to say. You know what I mean? As far as like,
well, and
it's practice. Like, you just have to put the time in and practice. So
for me, I know I look forward to every week getting to come on and just have a conversation with you, Josh. I mean,
yeah,
even on a week like this week, I dove deep into Crafted World and didn't play a whole lot of Smash pretty much even throughout the week. So I mean, but there's still stuff to talk about and have a good open dialogue with everyone that's in the Discord, even people that are subscribed to the podcast or watch on YouTube that aren't in the Discord. By the way, you should join the Discord, n64josh.com/discord.
Sweet plug.
And I mean, but just having that conversation that we get to have every week. And even if the news is slow, there's usually something we can dig up. And you and I constantly are talking that, oh, this is going to be a short half-hour show, and then an hour and 15 minutes later, we're sitting there like, oh, how long was that runtime?
Yeah,
54 minutes. Oh, okay. Exactly. I guess we did have stuff to talk about. So I mean, we both try to be, I think, entertaining as well, and keep people laughing and just have that open dialogue with people.
Yeah, and it's I mean, there's like I said, the biggest thing for me is that, like, I just want to make sure it's adding value. Right. And so when I start doubt, and I am my own worst critic, there is no doubt in my mind. Ever since I can remember, I am super hard on myself, like way hard on myself. But I feel, because I'm a perfectionist, right? And I want to strive towards greatness. And so, I like, when I'm like, okay, like I see downloads, I see stuff, you know, I'm like, okay,
yeah,
like
you see all the stuff I don't see. So I just get to live blissfully ignorant about the whole thing.
Charlie just does his magic in front of the mic and eats dinner.
So Alka-Seltzer just gifted a bunch more subs, so thank you so much for that. And she also agrees that I'm way too hard on myself because she's known me for a long time. It's just my nature, you know. And so you know, like, this is good for me, actually, hearing, you know, outside perspective and things like that, because I mean, I try to get feedback and try to, you know, that kind of stuff, and look at reviews and things like that. Like, I always want to be improving. And so but I did have some concerns that I'm like, okay, is this show still going to add? Because I don't want to get to the point where it's like we get a review where it's like, they've said the same thing 4 weeks in a row. Like, we know we need to practice. Thanks. Can you give us something useful?
Josh, I still get those moments where I'm like, whoa. Like, once every 3 months, I swear I have like a Smash epiphany where I've unlocked like some new chakra. And I'm like, whoa, I didn't know I could even think about it like that. So I wouldn't get too hard on yourself. I bet you'll get a couple of chakras opened up pretty soon. But the whole thing about you and your journey through Smash, Josh, and Crawler and AV, you know, like at the end of the Melee documentary, the documentary person asks Wife, who does a great job. He's an old Melee commentator, tells a lot of the story of early Melee. And he says, okay, what is Smash? Sum the whole thing up. And Wife gives the answer, like, it's an opportunity to be someone. You can kind of, whatever you want to be, you can be. And I love that advice. It really stuck with me over the years. I heard that even before I entered the community. It always stuck in my head because it's so true. And Josh, I think that your role, make it whatever you want it to be, but for a lot of people, it's like almost like this dad figure, where we get to live vicariously through your experiences, and we get to like look to you as a role model of like our attitudes towards the game, and even if you like gave some garbage advice, like just roll more, it wouldn't matter because the attitude that you're approaching the game.
Buy the shirt, just roll.
The attitude with which you're approaching the game is what's valuable. It isn't what you're actually saying. That's my take.
Real quick, Chad is asking too, like, what are you talking about, guys? If you Google or just go on YouTube and search Melee documentary, it's gonna show up. Like you can watch the whole thing in one. I've watched it twice now. And
yeah, I want to go back and rewatch it now, just hearing Dane talk about it a little bit as well, like just to see kind of the history there and what I've taken away for the last year that I've been kind of putting that time into Smash, just to see what I get out of it, because I did watch it right around a year ago when you were talking about it in those first 5 episodes, Josh. I definitely want to go back and watch it.
Yeah, it's really good.
I feel like the Melee documentary took an entire video game and humanized it in a way that I think no like film has ever been able to do before. I mean, we've seen attempts at it, we've seen coverage of video games before, but there was this grounding human feeling when you watched it. There was nothing like, it wasn't too high production, it wasn't too low production. Everything was like the whole feeling of it was just like, I'm here to play Smash with my bros. Like everyone just felt like a homie in the documentary. And that sums up Smash more than anything else. Just not even like the content of it, but just like the aura or like the.
And it was like 90s rap too. We had East Coast, West Coast, and
yeah.
I mean, and also a random thing as well. I was on YouTube a couple weeks ago, and the React channel or whatever that has those like
Ken?
high school. Yeah, they had Ken on there, and he just like wiped the floor with all these kids, and then they told him who he was, but he was doing it with Ultimate.
Will try.
Yeah,
not try.
Yeah, but yeah, it was great. It was great to see. I didn't know Ken was like, because you see at the end of the documentary that he's kind of he's fading into the background, but obviously it's part of his DNA. He's King of Smash, and he's keeping up with it and playing Ultimate, and that React channel called him up, and he still has his chops.
It's really cool to watch. I was gonna bring the same thing up. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you did. So, well, this is gonna be a long one. I'm just gonna let you guys know because we're not done yet. We're not done yet. All right. So I've had requests that we would start doing character breakdowns, and so I'm gonna do my best. We're gonna do our best to try to do this, and we're gonna talk about Wolf. So we're gonna jump into it right after this. All right, so Zachary kind of showed the world at Genesis 6 that Wolf was more than a low-tier character, right? And we've seen a lot of people start playing Wolf, right? We've seen Peon and Avi jump on the bandwagon, going for that top-tier character, trying to, just game the system instead of sticking with their mains, and
right.
That's absolutely right. They want to be Zachary 2.0 is what.
How?
No, I'm totally joking, but let's talk about this character, guys. I mean, obviously he had some appeal to you. We've heard you guys talk about him on your show. Like, let's break him down. Let's talk about some of his bread and butter, and like really just, you know, if somebody's interested or somebody's already playing him or thinking about playing him, like why would you recommend? Let's just kind of take a deep dive here.
Sure.
Wolf is the working man or woman, man or woman's character. Very easy to understand at a cursory glance. Very, very, very easy to understand and very easy to get the most out of. You know, his combo game is pretty simple to understand compared to almost every other character. And his moves just sort of kill. I mean, forward tilt, back air, any of his amazing smash attacks, his up air, his back throw. Like more than half of his moves.
Doesn't side B kill?
Side B kills. Pretty much every one of his moves kills. Nair kills. And because he has such a universal set of options, he's very easy to understand quickly and to implement strategically, making him, I think, arguably the best secondary in the game right now. Maybe him and Lucina are close.
Don't go against Pokemon Trainer though, right?
Well,
I think Wolf does fine actually against. I think Wolf does okay against.
Ivysaur kind of hurts Wolf a little bit.
Ivysaur hurts a lot of people. But when I look at a character, the first thing that I look at is what are my scouting tools. Your scouting tools are your safe options that you can use in the neutral in order to get a feel for how your opponent plays and what your game plan is going to be to get an in on your opponent's character or play style. Wolf has a lot of scouting tools. If you look at Laser forces you into the air, like no matter what. I mean, you know characters have reflectors, but a lot of them are usually really laggy. It's kind of hard to get around it. It's a transcendent projectile, so it goes through nearly every other projectile in the game. So
of course it does.
Yeah, it's that itself is one of the best neutral tools in the game. And then you have and then you have Fair, which is really easy to space. It has a lot of range on it. It's extremely safe. You have Nair, one of the most safe, one of the most safe aerials, especially when you cross up with it. All of his tilts are safe. You can down tilts when you poke with down tilt at max range. When you poke with smashes at max range, what other character can just spam smash as a tool in the neutral? And you look at it and it's like not many others, like maybe Meta Knight, who also has a really safe forward smash and down smash.
They come out of it quick, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
very little end lag on his forward smash especially.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, forward smash especially, but all of them in general, and all of them are safe on shield.
Is up smash safe on shield?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I mean, not maybe if you're like ridiculously close to someone, but I've definitely gotten away with a ton of up smashes, like just like on people's shield.
I'm putting an asterisk on that. I mean, I think you're full of it. I don't think up smash safe on shield, but.
All right.
We can agree and disagree.
All right.
Talking about up smash, that's his move where he kind of like he kicks and his legs come together.
He like drags you up with it, right?
Right.
He squats down with the scoop and then straight up
and so
with his legs.
One of the things that I've picked up playing against that character is that up smash seems to be, if you place yourself on the right part of the stage, like say you knock somebody off stage and they're continually jumping to get back on, that up smash at like, you know, like, I don't know, 3 character lengths away is such a beautiful move. Like I've been killed by it before, right? Like, and it's still gonna, you're getting 2 options right there. If they roll onto the stage or if they jump onto the stage, they're in trouble if you throw that up smash. And I love seeing that.
Yeah, and even more scary, because Wolf lowers his profile right before the hitbox, the up smash comes out. If you try to land on him with an aerial, it's very easy to miss space because he squats underneath the aerial a lot of the time. So like landing on Wolf in general when you're at the percent where up smash will kill is often a risky endeavor unless you execute perfectly.
I think that statement, unless you execute perfectly, is like a huge part of playing against Wolf. He has a lot of, like, if you could think about how Smash is played, a lot of it is played in medium to high percentage plays. Wolf forces players to only play high percentage plays because all medium percentage plays are met with ridiculously disproportionate punishes. And the fact that he's able to capitalize on a lot of these situations places him in my opinion, in at the very least the top 10 of the game.
Do you guys want to talk about like some anti-Wolf tactics?
Void? Isn't it Void?
Just call your local CLG Void.
Play Pichu.
Summon him as your champion. So what really gets Wolf, and I love playing against Wolf because he is an amazing character, but not without his flaws. You know, the number one way to really make a Wolf player hate you is to terrorize him off stage. Now, there's a couple things you need to watch out for. His up B, after it gets going, there's a brief charge, just like the other Spaceys. But once he gets going, it'll hurt. It'll hurt big time. You can die like 60 off stage to it. The hitbox is ridiculous. But before then, you can go out there, hit him with the back air, hit him with whatever, and edge guard him. And the biggest Wolf killer is when he's forced to use his side B as Wolf Flash onto stage. A lot of people are very scared by it because if you get hit by it, it's dramatic. It does have a lot of damage to you and it can kill. But a lot of people don't know is that Wolf's hurt box arrives before his hitbox. So if he side B's to the stage, you can try to 2-frame him. In reality, you have a lot more than 2 frames to hit him. But hit him with like a down tilt, some sort of smash attack that'll hit like at the ledge. And you can kill Wolf, or at least disrupt his recovery very often.
Or cape him.
Or cape him. Give him the cape.
Yeah. Another thing to look out for, usually when playing against characters like Wolf, who have a ridiculous amount of safe options, something people try to do is they often try to punish moves individually and in vacuums. Like if Wolf goes for up tilt or forward smash, they try to say, okay, how do I punish this move directly? And the thing is, you don't. You punish what they do afterward. Getting into the habit of punishing what someone is doing after they forward smash or after they up tilt or do any of these really safe moves is usually much better. For example, like I'm a degenerate Wolf player, so every time that I forward smash, I'm F tilting every time, and it catches people every single time. But the thing is, the F tilt isn't safe. The forward smash is safe, but the F tilt isn't safe. So all people have to do is hold shield on the forward smash, don't drop it, wait for the F tilt, and then punish. Look at what your Wolf player is doing is doing after the moves, and not simply looking like for what each of the moves stand for in a vacuum.
Admitting you have a problem is the first step. So just wanted to get that out there.
My name is Peon. I've been playing Wolf for 2 months.
So let's touch on just some of the, like, just the absolute bread and butter with this character. What is some of the, I think you kind of mentioned it a little bit right there, just like talking about how to punish that those moves, AV. But like, what do you say is like, approach tools, combos, like combo starters, that kind of stuff?
So playing as Wolf, you need to really understand 2 things in neutral. Is 1, do not be afraid to use Blaster. Blaster might be the best move in the game. Does between like 9 and 13% per hit.
I hate that thing when I
7
when
and
I get
10,
hit.
but
I'm throwing my Nair and the gun hits me. Like not even the blaster shot, but the blade on the gun.
It's ridiculous. So make your opponent, do not be afraid to be a jerk. Do not be afraid to spam a move if it keeps working. Use the blaster and see how they respond. Are they jumping over it? If so, meet them with an aerial. Are they shielding it? Run up and grab. Try to condition their habits by using the blaster as your kind of prodding tool. As if you're like,
please keep doing it if I'm playing Game & Watch.
Unless you're playing Crawler's Game & Watch. And then the other main thing with Wolf in the neutral is landing well-spaced aerials. That's usually going to be your forward air or your neutral air. Very likely going to be those two are going to be your main ones. And attacking through your opponent's shield. So crossing them up so that when you after you use the move, you end up on your opponent's backside. Most characters kind of have a blind spot directly behind them. And so you won't be punished for the aerials if you land through them and end up on their backside. AV, do you want to talk about like some throw combos?
Sure thing. So Wolf because of Wolf's like incredibly good projectile, you'll often find that your opponent will be stuck in shield. A lot of Wolf's options just put your opponent in shield. Therefore, you have to be prepared to expect your opponent to shield something. So pretend to go in, pretend to do an attack, and then go in for the grab. Once you have the grab, all right, is it 0%? 0%, you up throw. 0%, you up throw to forward air. If it's a stage with platforms, you can get multiple forward airs. Now, let's just say you're around 10 to 35% on most characters. Now, what you're going to go for is a down throw to immediate dash attack. Now, the reason down throw to immediate dash attack doesn't work at 0% is because there's not enough hit stun for it to. There's not enough hit stun and it doesn't launch enough in order for that to connect properly. And then in this area of around 20 to
wait, we should explain the instant dash attack.
Sure. Actually, that's another really important. I just kind of took that for granted. All right, so to do an instant dash attack, whatever direction you're facing in, let's just say you're facing to the right, all you have to do is hit your control stick to the right and immediately hit your C stick to the right at the same time. So what it'll look like is you're hitting both sticks to the right at like very quickly in succession with your control stick going first.
Like very quickly, it's an almost simultaneously.
Yep.
The moment that you see your character start running after the grab animation, you should be flicking your C stick over, and you'll do like a frame perfect dash attack with ease. And you need to do that with Wolf, otherwise it won't be a true combo. Yep,
that's correct. So around like 20 to 40%. If there's platforms, what you want to do is you want to up throw to forward air. Wolf can get a ton of damage just by forward airing a bunch of times. So you just up throw and start forward airing. You start clawing them like in the air, and you can get some ridiculous damage off of it. It's kind of cool how simple a lot of his combos are. It's really beautiful. It's what makes the character like really elegant. If someone goes directly above you, you can't really get a forward air, so just kind of swipe at him with an up air, and then try juggling them further.
I want to emphasize that if you can do those things, you can play Wolf at a decent level. Like Wolf, don't hate me, Wolf players, is pretty easy. And this is from a guy who uses Wolf in tournament. I would really recommend you, whoever's listening to this, to give Wolf an honest try. If you have a couple bad matchups with your main, put your pride away. I don't care if Wolf's the flavor of the month. Give him a try. He's fun and he's easy, and you can get a lot out of him.
So Pion, let's talk killing. Everything that he does it, but
yeah, we kind of went over that. everything but what does down
tilt?
Down does it. I've been killed.
Down reflector, right? A reflector at a high enough percentage, probably. Yeah.
So the thing is, there's a few things that you're probably going to want to rely on. That's like way safer. Spamming forward smash works. Like it sometimes just works. Smash. But
back airs.
Back air is huge. Back air is actually one of the biggest ways that I usually kill people. Like back air, spacing your back air and getting the sweet spot of that back air, using it to catch people's jumps, especially if they're in the corner. Players in Ultimate love to jump out of the corner. The jump is such a beautiful thing in Ultimate. We have that universal 3-frame jump squat. Each character takes 3 frames to prepare themselves before they launch themselves in the air. So people love jumping. It's just something that people like to do in this game. So calling people's jump out with the back air is really, really huge, and you can kill people like 60 or 70 with the back air. It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, Wolf doesn't have too many kill confirms, so you kind of just have to make a play with one of Wolf's many kill moves, which we listed earlier. I mean, but there's no real like this is a guaranteed way to get a kill. kind of situation, except for down throw into side B. It's a true combo against most characters between like 40 and 60%. And if you get someone by the ledge and you down throw them and you have a stock lead, or unless you're crazy, go for the all-in-one side B and get the spike to end the game, and then everybody will love you. The ladies will love you. You'll be the most popular guy on the block. It'll be crazy.
So what are some good matchups for Wolf? I mean, I think there's a lot, but are there any also matchups to avoid?
Yep. Pichu.
Pichu
Yep.
and Pikachu are pretty bad for our furry friend. Some people are saying Lucina, Fox are pretty even. Inkling, I very strongly believe Inkling beats Wolf. It's a lot of the really fast characters that can edge guard well. Like even like people are saying Sheik does well against Wolf. Any character that has a really good neutral and has really great gimping or edge guarding capabilities will do well against Wolf. The people that Wolf really messes up are people that rely on projectiles, because Wolf's blaster beats most projectiles, and he has a reflector, right? And I mean, that's kind of the main people that hate Wolf, I'd say, is like the Toon Links, the Young Links, the Mega Mans, those kind of people.
Yeah, I mean, Wolf is a pretty slow character. So that being said, any character that's slower than him loses to Wolf. I don't think there's a single character I don't think there's a single character that Wolf is faster than that he doesn't lose to. Because if he has the movement advantage, and he can move around with all of his tools that allows him to command the neutral is basically a done deal, and they have to rely on some kind of ridiculous read in order to close it out for them.
Prime Griffin in chat wants to know how Zero Suit does against Wolf.
You know, I'd be lying if I told you I have a bunch of experience in the Zero Suit matchup. I have played. We do have a really good local Zero Suit player who has beaten me in tournament versus my Wolf, and that's the only one I've ever played. So maybe this Zero Suit happens to just be excellent against Wolf. But I definitely think Zero Suit has some tools in the matchup. I definitely think that she doesn't do too bad. Again, she's very fast. She can get around stuff like Blaster more easily than other people can. And she does have some great offstage, gimping opportunities. I think she does well enough to where you wouldn't, if you were a Zero Suit player, I don't think that you should counterpick Wolf. I think you should just fight with Zero Suit.
Brooklyn Otter from chat says, so are sorties in general good against Wolf?
I would say they are even-ish. Like most of the Fire Emblem people, like the Roy, Crom, Marth, Lucina, I think they all do pretty well against Wolf.
I think the fast ones in particular do really well. People who can keep Wolf in disadvantage and really pressure Wolf and don't let him set up this kind of wall of oppression are really characters that do well. I actually think Roy and Crom do better, in my opinion, than Lucina and Marth. That is, of course, just my opinion, but I think that when you take into the fact that that Roy and Crom will be carrying Wolf off into the side of the stage way more than characters like Lucina and Marth will. And if you can get Wolf and keep Wolf in those kinds of situations, it's gonna completely remove the advantage that Wolf has of having this like really airtight and beautiful neutral game.
I could see it. I could.
I know he doesn't like fireballs off stage. I know that much.
I can confirm.
So, okay. Well, before we wrap
as a
this
fireball myself.
Before we wrap this thing up, a couple things that did. I played Monday and I played Saturday night real late with some people from the Discord. Had a really good time, and so good time, in fact, that one of the messages I saw in Discord later was that Mario needs his cape and flood nerfed. That the cape should not turn me around backwards, because I was chasing them low and just spinning them around, and they were not having the best of times, and so, but one of the things that I think, I don't know that this is necessarily a beginner technique, but maybe kind of intermediate. A lot of times we encourage people don't roll towards your opponent when you get up, right? And what I've noticed a lot, I noticed this in quick play, and then even pointed it out to some people as we were playing, that if you're going to roll towards your opponent, it's actually not as it can be easily read, right? It's one of those things. If you do it regularly, I mean, anything, if you do it regularly, can be easily read. But if you are going to roll towards them, if you immediately spot dodge as soon as you get to your feet, a lot of times you can actually have your opponent whiff their grab, and then you're right back in there punishing that. And so something to keep in mind, if you do roll towards your opponent, hit that spot dodge immediately, and it can end up being safe, So I saw a lot. This wasn't an isolated incident. I saw this a lot in quick play, which I was kind of surprised, like a lot. Do you guys, I mean, I saw Peon, like, he made a face like you're an idiot. So
no. Josh, that's just how my face looks. No. I mean, I think the general philosophy is there is no. I definitely do see people get away with that a lot, especially online, where when you roll towards someone, you do the immediate spot dodge. And a lot of people try to grab when there's a tech chase situation, and I do like doing immediate spot dodges. That's kind of a secret of mine. People don't really punish it very often, but I do think that tech rolling in is good sometimes. But you do very often, like the hardest punishes are usually when you roll into like an F smash or something. Yeah. I think that should be like your least used tech option. But if you never ever roll in, then your opponent just never has to think about it, and they just won't cover it anymore, and they can just better be prepared for your tech away or your normal get up. So I would say do it sometimes, but I definitely wouldn't overuse it. And I do completely agree with you when you say that a lot of people do overuse it and get super hard punished for it. So I think that's a totally fair thing to say.
I think there's this beautiful concept in this game that there's no right or wrong option. Like it's like maybe in a 2D fighter, when there's like clearly the best punish or clearly the right move. Although actually it's not always the case, because you can't defend every portion of your body when you play the game. So there are some guesses that still need to be made. But in Smash, like if roll to spot dodge is working every time, like dude, against your opponent, do it. But the thing is, you have to be immediately prepared to stop doing it when someone starts punishing it. Mm-hmm. And that's all that matters. Honestly, if you can, it's like, if just like, even with like your advice, like just roll, if it's working, do it.
That's good advice.
Like it is good advice if it's working. And that's the crazy part. It's not universally bad advice. The thing is, if it works, that's why like when you tell casual people, like, all right, see that C stick over there? Use it. See that roll, see that R button? Yeah, just hold to the side. Just spam roll to get out of stuff. The reason that stuff works is because it's like they're just universally good options that are not intuitive to punish for normal players. But the thing is that the reason that the game starts evolving, the game starts changing at higher levels, is because people start looking out for like a gamut of things. They look, it's like the universe is expanded in their mind, and they start looking for different things. But the thing is, even these top players, sometimes it's like they wouldn't expect you to roll spot dodge, and then it just works. Like stuff just magically works, and that's the beautiful part about this game.
It reminds me of this adage. One time I was at this vineyard, and there was this old wise man, and he said, like, I was like, I don't know which one I want, and he said, oh boy, the good wine is the one that you will drink.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this. Is that what happened?
he handed me a basic sword. No. He said the wine that you should drink is the one that you like. Like the one that you will drink is the wine that you should choose. Like don't make such a big fuss out of it. Just if you like it, just drink it.
Right.
And that's Smash. If you're picking an option and your opponent's not punishing it, and you like that option, do it every time. But you can never forget I'm picking this option every time. If you roll in twice in a row, you need to know that your opponent probably knows you rolled in twice in a row. But I do agree with you though that a very common low level mistake is they always roll in and they get super punished. So no, I think that's a good thing to point out.
Well, and if it is a habit that you have and you're having a hard time breaking it, at least you can hopefully you can go, I just rolled in, I'm going to spot dodge, and it may save you that from being punished at that moment. And then, and then if you because I mean, Crawler, there's time like he would roll towards me and then I would immediately hear him yell at himself, he'd be like, don't roll, like just have that. And so, if you find that that's a habit you need to break, at least you can start mixing it up by, you just threw a spot dodge, they whiffed a grab, and now you're in the advantage. And sure. So just something to keep in mind. And again, this game, as you guys were saying, like, it just boils down to the mix up, right? Like, how can you mix it up? Like, if you've rolled twice and not spot dodged and they haven't punished it, and then they think, hey, I've got this read, and then you spot dodge, now they're like, it's going to throw them off their game even more, right? Because and so it allows you to really mix up your play and figure out the best ways to put yourself in the advantage state against your opponent, which is where you want to be. Don't get hit. That's the rule of Smash. Don't get hit. Right?
Yeah, that's correct. Thanks,
all
Isaiah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. If you guys go watch that documentary,
the doc.
You're gonna know exactly what we're talking about. So we're at almost an hour and 40 minutes. So this is wild. This is wild. I can't even believe it. So let's wrap this thing up. Peon, where can people find you?
You can find me at peon_GCE. That's peon_GCE. That's Golf Charlie Echo for all you military folk. And you can find AV and mine show at Beyond Metagame. The show is called Beyond the Metagame. It's available everywhere that podcast exists. Our Twitter is at Beyond Metagame because Twitter did not leave any room for the.
AV, where can people find you?
People can find me at A+ Vaidyanatha, my long Indian last name.
But it's also linked on Beyond the Metagame's Twitter.
Yes, that's probably the only way you'll ever find it.
I assume that's how people find it. People don't. I wonder how many people look up A+ my long Indian last.
I mean, when you go to heaven, the first thing you got to do is confront your ancestors about like your branding. Like, come on, man.
There's like 10 people with my last name on this earth. It's like it's weird. My ancestors are a bunch of hipsters. They took a really popular last name and then they just cut off the last letter. And that's why there's only like 9 or 10 of them.
It was longer?
It was longer.
Crawler, where can we find you, bud?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Nightcrawler724. Also on Twitch occasionally. Need to be better about doing that, but come hang out. We'll play some games. And then also, like I said before, in the Discord, n64josh.com/Discord. I know you guys got a Discord too. You guys want to plug that one real quick?
I don't think we have a tidy hyperlink for it, do we, AB?
We do now.
They'll have it up. Check their Twitter.
All right, we'll get it in the notes for sure. So, guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, all the places, it's at N64Josh. I do want to suggest check out n64josh.com. I've been putting up quite a few articles, especially if you just want Nintendo news. I've been putting up stuff there. Been doing a lot more on YouTube as well, and then of course streaming as often as I can. It's crazy, and I'm loving every minute of it. So, but if you want to interact, hey, guess what? I decided to create my own Reddit, and it's going to be a positive Reddit. So you can go to it's going to be n64josh.com/r. That's where you can go. I don't have it built yet, but it'll be done before tonight's show's over. So thank you guys. If you can rate and review on iTunes, we greatly appreciate it. And this has been a ton of fun. So thank you, Peon, AV, Beyond the Metagame. Guys, make sure to subscribe to their podcast. Go check it out. That's where you get the good info. That's what we always say. So thanks again. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.